I'm sure that back in the time of the 13 colonies, owls still seemed like a very good way of handling magical mail. However, the US eventually grew larger and larger. The US is a great deal larger than the UK. Sending an owl from New York to California would never work very well. You'd only ensure the loss of mail and maybe some angry tweets from PETA. So, how would you accomplish mail in America? Well, the true scale of the issue is even larger because the Magical Congress of the United States of America, or MACUSA, is not just the governing body for the U.S. wizarding community, but for Canada and Mexico too, with the North American school Ilvermorny serving the three nations as well. So, if you attended Ilvermorny, you'd likely not just have American friends, but also Canadian and Mexican friends too. Wouldn't you like to write with your friends all summer since the wizarding world refuses to adopt its own form of texting? Well, you can't send an owl to Canada. So, what would you do? Or rather, what would Ilvermorny and MACUSA at large do? I had a few ideas that I mulled over, and ultimately I came up with three possible solutions. First, I figured that any local state level mail could easily be accomplished by owl mail. The only sort of stretch could be that Texas and California for their sheer size, but I still think it could be manageable. Then any long distance mail could then be delivered to a MACUSA operated post office system, where you'd go to your state's MACUSA post office, give them your letter, which would later be delivered to whatever state the recipient lives in, where that MACUSA post office would then send an owl. For instance, say you're a wizard living in New York, and you have some school friends that live in California. You go to your local MACUSA post office, give them your letter, and an employee would then use the Floo network to go to the California office, where another employee would sort the mail and send it by owl. Now, this probably sounds fairly nomadish, the American word for muggle, and rife with bureaucracy and utterly boring, but it still stands to be a fairly decent possibility that would keep the traditional owl post. The second possibility I thought of came from me thinking about deery crawls. These flightless birds can naturally apparate, so I thought maybe you could just apparate your letter. While theoretically possible, it's not without its own problems. Namely, that if you can't visualize the home you're sending the letter to, it won't make it. You could also splinch your letter. Also, apparition is illegal without a license, at least in Britain. One can assume that that would also be the case in the US, as you also must have a wand permit per MACUSA. Not to mention, Ilvermorny presumably has anti-apparition charms, much like Hogwarts. My third and final potential solution is Floo mail, which is just perfect, frankly. Flop that letter in the fireplace, grab some Floo powder, say your destination for the letter, then throw in the powder. Whoosh. Letter delivered magically. This may even be arguably even cooler than an owl swooping into your house. Also, less chances of your letter being intercepted, or failing to read your godfather's warning that the bird bites before you start petting the owl. So, what are your thoughts on Floo mail? Is it the perfect solution for magical correspondence throughout North America? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all again. Mischief managed.